Hello everyone, welcome to Legal Darshan. In today's video, we are going to talk about Hindu marriages. We have started this series on Hindu marriages, and in this video, we will talk about what are the characteristics of Hindu marriage. Now, it is going to be a little historical type of video in which we will be discussing pre-1955 kind of marriages and post-1955 kind of marriages. So in 1941, there was B.N. Rao Commission, which was formed to develop the Hindu laws in our country. So, from 1941 to 1956, various Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, Hindu Maintenance and Guardianship Act were created. Now, this commission, B.N. Rao Commission, it aimed to reform the existing status of marriages in Hindu law. Because prior to this, we used to follow Manusmriti, we used to follow Vedas, we used to follow other kind of smritis like Narad Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, which decided how Hindus will be functioning. For example, how marriage will take place, what are the kinds of marriages, etc., etc. Who will inherit the property? Like when we will do succession, we will know that women can only claim a share in the partition after 2005. Before that, women were just the inheritors. Now, let's start with the concept of marriage. So before 1955 Act, bigamy was allowed. So a man could have multiple wives. There was no code, no regulation that controlled bigamy, right? Officially, bigamy was not any problem in Hindu marriage. Second, there were 8 kinds of marriages. Now, these 8 kinds of marriages in Hindus, it was given in Manusmriti plus Atharva Veda. There were 8 kinds of marriages. Now, let's quickly go around what these 8 kinds of marriages were. So, these 8 kinds of marriages, these were further divided into 2 categories. One was righteous and another was non-righteous. So these were the accepted forms of marriages back in the pre-1955 era. So first one from writers was Brahma marriage. Brahma. Okay. So in this kind of marriage, the daughter of a good man who had a good conduct, she was made literate. Then she would be given to the son of the priest. Okay, so she first used to learn the Vedas, and then she was given to the son of the priest, or maybe to the priest himself, as a form of marriage. Then another one is Dev Viva. In Dev Viva, the women, the daughter of a man, she was gifted to the Brahmins, to the priest in the temple as a sacrificial ceremony. Then third one is Arsh Vivaha. So in Arsh Vivaha, what happened was that the women was gifted or was given to some sahukar in exchange of a bull or a cow from the sahukar. So women was basically exchanged or given to in lieu of one bull or two pair or a cow or either a pair of cattle or anything. And then the daughter was given to the person sahukar who was giving the cow to the father of the girl. Right? So this was the righteous form of marriage. Then there was a Prajapatya marriage. Yes. So Prajapatya marriage is the kind of marriage in which the father searches for the groom and request the groom to marry her daughter and then give the hand of his daughter in the hand of that man. So Prajapatya Vivaha is also a kind of marriage in which only father is seeking for the groom and giving his daughter in his daughter's hand in the hand of the person he selected for her. So these were the accepted forms of marriage. Non-righteous forms of marriage included Asur Vivaha. First one is Asur Vivaha. So this Asur Vivaha, she was usually given to the people who had a lot of wealth, a lot of um, wealth and a lot of luxuries, and a bride price was offered against which the women was given to the man. Rakshasa Vivaha. Another one is Rakshasa Vivaha. In this category, the women got abducted and she was given to the abductor. If a woman was abducted, she was given to the abductor in the form of marriage, which is known as Rakshasa Vivaha. Then another is Peshach Vivaha. Peshach Vivaha. In Peshach Vivaha, if a man has sexually assaulted a woman while she was asleep, mentally challenged, or intoxicated, it would be automatically be, taken as if the man has married that lady. So this is known as Peshach Vivaha. And another non-righteous form of Vivaha used to be Gandharva Vivaha. Gandharva Vivaha is the most common practice that Hindu Marriage Act allows. So Gandharva Vivaha was taken as the non-righteous form of marriage, but now it is the prevalent form of marriage under Hindu Marriage Act. So in Gandharva Vivaha, nobody apart from the groom and the bride can decide that I will marry this person. So Gandharva Vivaha talks of consent of both the parties. That a marriage will only be valid if both bride and groom have seen each other, they like each other, and they have given consent for each other. Now, these were the forms of marriages that were existing earlier. With 1955 Hindu Marriage Act coming into the picture, what came into existence was Gandharva Vivaha became the accepted form of marriage. The consent of both the parties became material. So, which a practice which was not very righteous earlier in the pre 1955 era became a mandate in the 1955 Act. Now let's talk about the nature of marriage in Hindus. Nature of marriage in Hindu law. Okay. Now in Hindus, marriage is taken as a sacrament, right? So marriage is not a contract, it is a sacrament. Now in many Western countries, marriages are in the nature of contract. For example, 3 years, 4 years, 2 years. Even Muslim law, the marriage is a contract. We we have heard it many times that they go through the process of kubul hai while marriages, right? So even in Muslim law, the marriage is nothing but a contract. But in Hindu law, marriage is a sacrament. Now, marriage has religious values attached to it. So, in earlier times, what happened was that marriage had three characteristics. It is eternal, non-dissoluble, and a bond of life after life. So, marriage was taken as an eternal union. So, even if you know that while we marry in Hindus, we call it Saat Janam Ka Rishta, right? The seven feras that are taken around the holy pyre, it is known as Saat Janam Ka Rishta and so. So this concept has emerged from the eternal union. So in earlier times in Hindu law, divorce was not an option, but now after the enactment of Hindu Marriage Act, there can be divorce possible on many grounds that are provided by the Hindu Marriage Act. So this happened earlier in the earlier era that marriage is non-dissoluble, it is an eternal union, it is a bond of life after life. And because we had these three kind of principles associated with marriage, we gave rise to many social stigmas. For example, sati pratha came out as a result of this particular thing only. Since marriage is indissoluble, then the women had to die with her husband. Also, the widow non-remarriage, that widows cannot remarry and widows had to live a tough life after the death of their husband. It was also a consequence of this principle only. So now women had to live in cruelty. If the husband is cruel, women had to live with them because no divorce was allowed. So Manu Smriti did not allow for divorce, but Narad Smriti allowed. So Narad Smriti allowed for divorce. The feature that we have taken in our Hindu Marriage Act for divorce has been adopted from Narad Smriti also, because Manu Smriti never allowed it. And we know that Manu Smriti is one of the greatest source of Hindu law. But if Manu Smriti has some stigmas attached to it, we can always refer to other Smritis which are way fast forward and way, progressive in nature. Now, so if we compare the pre 1955 and post 1955, we can see that pre 1955 there were 8 forms of marriage in which women were basically treated as an object. But after that, women's consent mattered. So only Gandharva Vivah came out as the most accepted and prevalent form of marriage. Then divorce was not an option. Here, divorce is an option. You can get a divorce done. Women, sati was existing, and of course 1955 Act has a role to play to curb the problem of sati, because it allowed for divorce. It also allows for widow remarriage. It also ensures that women are treated properly. So a lot of stigmas that were existing before 1955 Act, they were curbed a little more after the enactment of 1955 Act. So this is how we now treat as marriage. So marriage is not anymore a non-dissoluble eternal union, but it can be dissolved if there exists cruelty in the relationships, right? So this is a start of how Hindu marriages look like. In the next video in the same series, we will talk about what are the conditions of marriage, when can a Hindu marry, how can a Hindu marry, can he marry outside the country, which law will protect him, and what are the conditions precedent to marriage, Hindu marriage, right? I hope you like this video. Thank you very much. Please stay tuned with us at Legal Darshan. If you have any feedback, queries, or suggestion, you may write to us at legaldarshan@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.